Good morning, students. Welcome again to this online class. In previous session, we have already started chapter 2. In that session, we have learned about globe. Today, in this session, we are going to discuss and learn about longitudes, the prime meridian, and latitudes. These are the 3 points remaining we are going to discuss about. First of all, we will learn about the longitudes. We learn about longitudes. What is longitude, or what are the lines of longitudes? So, the simple definition is given here. The imaginary lines running through the North Pole and the South Pole are called longitudes or meridians. Once again, I shall repeat. The imaginary lines running through the North and the South Poles are called longitudes or meridians. Okay, so this is the simple definition about longitude. So these longitudes we can understand with the help of diagram in simple way. We take North Pole and South Pole as the standard reference point and draw equal distance lines around the globe. These all lines are called longitudes or meridians. Once again, I shall repeat. We take North Pole and South Pole as the standard reference point and draw equal distance lines. The all lines will be equal distance around all the globe. These equal distance lines will be drawn around the globe. These all lines are called longitudes or meridians. They all are of same length. These all lines are of same length. Why? Because they meet at the point of North Pole and South Pole, and they are furthest from each other at the equator. They meet at the poles and are furthest from each other at the equator. So that's why they are equal in length. Total, they are 360 longitudes. How many total longitudes are there? There are 360 lines of longitudes. Okay, these all the lines of longitudes help us to determine the time zone. They help us to determine time because you will find in time zone, different country has different time. If you pass from India to Pakistan, there will be time will be changed. Suppose here it is 10 o'clock, there will be maybe 11 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. So in this way, the times are different in different places because of these longitudes. Because of these longitudes, time changes in places. Okay, so these longitudes help us to determine time. Next topic we will see now the prime meridian. What is prime meridian? The prime meridian is the standard line of longitude. Prime meridian also is a longitude, line of longitude. Why it is called prime meridian? It is in the center of all the longitudes, which crosses the Royal Observatory in Greenwich near London. This prime meridian, the standard longitude, passes or the crosses the Royal Observatory in Greenwich near London. The Greenwich is a place name. It is near to the London. There is one observatory center that is called Royal Observatory Center. So through that only this prime meridian crosses. This prime meridian is marked as 0 degree. That's why in the figure I have marked here 0 degree. So we will mean that this line will be the prime meridian. So this is 0 degree. The prime meridian divides the world into two equal halves. This line, the prime meridian, divides the world into two equal halves that are 180 degree east from the prime meridian is called Eastern Hemisphere, and the region 180 degree west from the prime meridian is called Western Hemisphere. Once again I shall repeat it. The region or the areas 180 degree east from the prime meridian is called Eastern Hemisphere, and the region or area 180 degree east from west from the prime meridian is called Western Hemisphere. The another thing is given here, the interesting thing, that is the international deadline. How the international deadline is formed? Let us see. The international deadline is marked or formed just opposite of the prime meridian. It is just opposite of the prime meridian. When we move east side 180 degree and west region 180 degree, both are same in length, both are same in distance, and in between where they meet, there they form one single line. That line is called international deadline. From that international deadline, we get changes in date and day every day, and there are different days and dates in different region. East side it will be different, then west side it will be different. Okay, so this is called the international deadline. The next point we are going to see is latitudes. It will be the last point of this chapter. To know about latitudes, first let us know about the equator. We take a midpoint of the globe and draw a horizontal line around the globe. At this point is called equator. Once again I shall repeat it. We take a midpoint of the globe, as I will mark it here. We take a midpoint of the globe and draw a horizontal line around the globe from east to west or west to east is called equator. Is called the equator. The line equator or the equator divides the world or globe into two equal halves. How it divides? Who divides the world into two equal parts? Equator. Equator divides the world into two equal halves. The upper half of the equator is called Northern Hemisphere. Once again, the upper half of the equator is called Northern Hemisphere. From equator to North Pole, it is called Northern Hemisphere. And the lower half of the equator is called southern hemisphere. Is it clear? Okay. Now we can draw parallel lines in equal distance of 1 degree towards north and south. After drawing the equator, we can draw in equal distance many lines north or and south. Okay, so these all lines are called lines of latitude. Let me clear it again. Now we can draw parallel lines in equal distance of 1 degree towards the north and south. These all lines are called the lines of latitudes. Okay? As they move towards the poles, they keep getting shorter and shorter. You can see in this figure, as the latitudes are moving towards the north pole and toward the south pole, it is becoming shorter and shorter. So, because it is rounding it and becoming shorter. There would be 90 lines to the top of the equator, while and 90 lines to the bottom of the equator. From the equator, north pole side also there will be 90 lines, and the bottom of the equator also there will be 90 lines. Thus, there are 181 lines of total latitudes. How many total latitudes are there? There are 181 lines of latitudes. The equator is marked 0 degree. Equator is marked 0 degree. I have marked and show here in the figure. It is the longest line of latitude. Equator is the longest line of latitude. It is also called the Great Circle. Equator is also called the Great Circle. Okay, so the North Pole is represented as 90 degree north, and South Pole is represented 90 degree south. How it is represented? North Pole is represented 90 degree north and South Pole is represented 90 degree of south. These horizontal and vertical lines we have studied in longitudes. They are in vertical lines. They are called longitudes and latitudes. They intersect each other. These horizontal and longitude intersected each other. They intersect each other and they form grids. Okay, they form grids. They provide us some type of location. They provide us location where they are intersected. We get location. So these intersecting lines help us to locate the places, locate different places in the map or in the globe. So this was the this was all about the chapter 2. We have learned in this chapter about globe, about longitudes, about the prime meridian, about the deadline, about latitudes, and so on. So I hope, dear students, you have understood all these things, whatever was in chapter 2. So this was last point. We have completed this chapter. So thank you. Have a nice day.